Hi guys, so this is the directions for the character comparisons choice board activity for this week. To start, you're going to need just a blank piece of paper, computer paper, line paper, whatever you have on hand. I folded my paper in half just to help me sort of organize my work. You can do that if you want. So what you're going to do on your paper is at the top, write the title of your book. The directions ask you to draw two stick figures because this activity is all about comparing and contrasting two characters from your book. So remember, you want to choose two of the characters that are considered to be maybe the main characters. Don't choose a character that has a very small part or is very insignificant roles because you won't be able to do this activity very well with one of those characters. So what you're going to do is after you've drawn your two stick figures, you're going to write the name of character 1 on one side and character 2 on the other side. So actually write their names in that spot. I've also drawn speech bubbles because the directions say that, you could think about things that your character would say. I would encourage you to think about maybe doing this as you come up with what they're going to say, just because you don't know how big to make your speech bubbles. So keep that in mind. So here's what you're going to do. First of all, I think it's really important that you know that this activity is not something that's going to be done in 5 minutes on one day. You actually need to do this over the course of this week. So every time you sit down and do read to self, I want you to be thinking about those two characters that you chose. As you learn something new, as an idea pops in your head about this character, you're going to add something to your stick figure. So let's say, for example, I'm reading the crossover and I come across something about this character. Obviously, one of them plays basketball. So for my character, I'm probably going to draw a basketball. Maybe the other character that you're reading about likes football, so you can draw a football. Or you can draw their jersey or a helmet or something that represents that they do this. Let's say you're reading a book like Cinderella, for example. I don't know. And Cinderella, so you've chosen Cinderella and the other character might be the evil stepmother. And we know that in Cinderella, the evil stepmother is always making Cinderella do all of the chores in the house. So as you read about Cinderella doing all of these chores, you might think, okay, how can I represent that in my stick figure? First thought that popped into my head is like a broom or something. So maybe you draw a broom in the hand here. Okay, that's going to represent that this character is doing a lot of the housework, a lot of the cleaning. Meanwhile, evil stepmother, maybe she's going around the village buying jewels and dresses and fancy things. So for this particular character or stick figure, you might put money in her hand, showing that she's got all the money and she's just spending it all. Okay? So you could add props like a football or a jersey or a broom or money or whatever represents that particular character. You could also add a background. So, if this person is playing basketball, maybe they're on the basketball court. So you design a basketball court in the background. Or this person, because they play football, is on the football field. So you design the football field with the bleachers and all of that. And then the other thing that the directions ask you to do or to think about is what they might say. And what I do not want you to do is to write down actually what's in your book. So if a character says something in your book, I don't want you to write that down. That doesn't show your thinking. That doesn't enable you to think. You just copied it down word for word. What I want you to do instead is think about if you were having a conversation with this character, what might they say to you? Or if you were kind of a fly on the wall and listening to this character outside of what's happening in the book, what might they say? What do you know about them as people that you would kind of have a guess about what they would say? So for example, if I go back to that Cinderella and evil stepmother, I don't have the book in front of me. I don't know what she would have said in the book, but I'm going to imagine that she probably really hates all the chores that she's doing. So she might say something like, I hate having all these chores. I wish I had a break. I wish she didn't make me do all this. And I would write that in her speech bubble. And if I wanted to add more speech bubbles around here, I could do that too. Evil stepmother might be like, I'm so glad I have that child to do all my work. I don't know if she actually said that. She probably didn't. I'm just making it up because I know this character. I know what she's like, and I imagine that that's something that she would say. So once again, this is not something that you will do in a few minutes on one day. This is something that's going to be over the course of the week. As you read, add on to this as you go. Hope this helps. As always, make sure you email me, catch me in a WebEx. Let me know if I can answer any questions about this activity.